We are back at it with some more MX bikes, and I am on one of the coolest supercross tracks you will ever see. This one is called Imperial SX, created by Quest Shun. It is a track that is very, very fast. It's very flowy. It has some huge lines like this quad right here. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to spin some laps, and I'm going to talk about the track. I have some topics that I want to talk about. I mentioned this in the Cairo GP video that I have like 6 different topics, which include like the layout, the environment, the roughness. Is this track good for like a beginner, pro, or novice? Would this track be really good for IRL? Who would shine on this track? Stuff like that. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So the first topic I have is layout, and I honestly love this layout. I wrote some notes down here. I love the long rhythm sections. The opportunity to hit some massive quads, or even like 5s if potential, like, you know, some crazy bikes, you know, is awesome. I love the longer rhythm sections because it allows for different like lines as well. So like I can go quad and someone can go triple single or something, or double, or whatever that math comes out to, right? And also hitting the big lines in like a race, man, that feels so good. I love when I'm able to do that. It doesn't happen often, I'll tell you that. It doesn't happen often, but I love when I can do that. Another thing I like about the layout is how the track has, like I mentioned just a second ago, like multiple different lines. Like this inside line leads you into a different rhythm compared to this outside line where we go quad, right? And same type of deal with this next long rhythm section. You could potentially go 4 here. I'm trying to do it for a TikTok. I haven't been able to get it yet, but you can go on, off. You can go quad here. It is very tricky. You got to hit it just perfect. Same thing with this one, man. Outside, you can go on, off, double, or you can go roll, triple on, single. Like, just so many different line options. Even this one, dude, like every section has a different line. I just noticed that. But yeah, so I think he did an awesome job with that. I think it makes for good racing. So the next thing I love about this place is this whoop section leading into like a Dragon's Back triple type of deal into the sand. That concept is actually so sick. You don't really see the Dragon's Backs anymore in IRL, which is a shame, because although there was probably a lot of injuries, definitely the last couple of years, I thought it brought a different dynamic to the Supercross tracks. You lose out on a lot of different things that you can do, such as the one we just saw where you go like Dragon's Back into like a triple, or Dragon's Back into like a double. So you lose out on a bunch of different rhythm sections, but I love the incorporation of that whoops into a Dragon's Back into sand. I think it was awesome. And then the next thing that I love is the sand section by the finish, man. It reminds me a lot, honestly, of the Kells Pier 138 sand section, where it's like you rotate back around on top of the over-under. That kind of reminds me of it a little bit. I love the aspect of dropping down right before the finish. I love that aspect. I thought that was really cool. The first time I did it, I was like, yo, that's so sick. So I really like that. The one criticism that I have for this track, it's not how big the lines are, none of that. It's the bowl turns. I wish the bowl turns were a little bit more, like, I guess, higher, especially for the longer rhythm sections. I wish, like right here, you can kind of see I'm almost going through the tough blocks. I wish it was just like a little bit more steep there, so potentially you can rail that and hit a big line. For example, like the quad that I'm trying to do in that, I guess, second main rhythm section after this whoop section right here. So this line right here is very difficult to hit because this bowl just kind of dips away. There's nothing to stick you inside that bowl, right? So that's kind of like the only criticism I have for the track right now, is I just wish that those turns were a little bit, I guess, steeper, and so you can like rail them and hit the big lines. But that's my only thing. The next topic I have is environment. Look at this place, man. This is so freaking sick. I don't even know what you call this. It's a stadium, I guess. I don't know. It's like an art piece, man. This is literally an art piece as a stadium. I absolutely love the graffiti. It brings such a cool dynamic to this place. That's the first thing I saw on the shop, and I was like, oh, I gotta get this. I definitely gotta get this. So whatever crossed your mind to put graffiti and this type of art style for the stadium, yo, bravo to you, man. It is so freaking cool. The next thing I have for my notes was the environment outside of the track, which is the sand, or not the sand, the city. I thought it was really, really cool. You can see the city, the sky drop. Is that right term? Sky drop? Backdrop? I don't know what it's called. But you can see the city skyline. You can see the skyline in the background, which I really, really like. And also there's water on the side over here. It's like you're almost, I want to say you're on a pier. I guess you might be on a pier. I really don't know how his thought process was for that. But if you go outside the map a little bit, you can kind of see we're right next to water. I don't know if that's a coincidence or how this was supposed to be. I don't know. But I kind of like that aspect of having that as like, I would say maybe the ocean. I don't really know per se, but I like that. You know, I like the city. I like the water. Kind of gives me like Chicago vibes. Like, I don't know where he was like thinking where it would be at, but that's what it's giving me, this art style. You know how Chicago has that like beer ball thingy? I don't know what it's supposed to be called, but it has that, and then the skyline with the water in the background. Like, kind of reminds me of Chicago a lot, which is pretty freaking dope. I think we should go to Chicago for a Supercross race. That would be freaking insane. But no, and that's so for the environment. That's all I really got. I really love the graffiti, dude. I really love that aspect. Next, is this track good for a novice, beginner, pro? I personally think this track can be ridden by anybody. If you're just starting out in the game, like remember in our Super Pole video a couple weeks back, we had the boy Gas. He's had the game maybe 3 weeks max. He can definitely ride this track with ease. Definitely ride this track. It's super, super easy. You know, it's super easy, but it's so fun and flowy that it makes me want to jump on and ride Supercross again. You know, so I think anybody can ride this. If you're a pro, you're obviously going to hit like the bigger lines, right? You're going to hit all these massive lines, which is going to be fun. If you're a novice, you're probably going to hit the little bit of the smaller lines, but you're still going to have fun and you're going to flow around it. Beginner, good learning curve. Try to hit the big lines, try to go through the track, just get laps down. So I think overall, it's a track for everybody, in my opinion. Which I think Quest did an awesome job with that. So if you are just starting out, I would still hop on the 450. I'm not going to cap. I think the 450 would make this track a little bit funner for you. So I would definitely recommend a 450 for this track. I haven't really tried it on the 250. You could probably still have fun on it. But I'd honestly just recommend a 450. Like, let's be real, the 450 you'll have way more fun, you know? And then would this track be cool IRL? Now, don't get me wrong. We just talked about how this would be like Chicago based, right? Or by thinking Chicago based on the art style, the water, the skyline. I honestly think this track would be so freaking sick as an IRL track, man. You know how cool it would have to have that like sand hill? Kind of reminds me of the LA Coliseum a little bit. And then like all these big lines that potentially could be hits, you know, by like Jet, Chase, Malcolm. I'm trying to think of guys that would go like huge, you know, and those are the 3 guys that off the top of my head that I thought of. But no, Tomac sometimes hits some crazy lines too, so I can't forget about Tomac. But I honestly think that this track would be super, super sick IRL. It would be so sick to see something different, so different, go into a Supercross. Because, I mean, think back this year, dude. We had tracks that were basically the same. Like, multiple weeks, we had a track that was basically the same. We had, like, the same whoops going into the finish for, like, 3 tracks, 4 tracks. We need some variety, man. We definitely need some variety. Losing out on the 12 to, I think, 12 whoops total, or 13, 14 whoops. Going down to 9 kind of chalked us a little bit. No dragons back like this right here kind of chalked us a little bit. So I think the uniqueness of this track would definitely be something a viewer would love. I think it would be awesome for racing with the multiple different lines. I don't know how different the lines would be necessarily, like if one line is faster than the other, right? You could potentially make it way better for IRL racing, right? In my opinion, this track would be so sick as an IRL track. Let me know what you guys think. And then who would be really good at this track IRL? Like I kind of just mentioned it a little bit ago, but I personally think Jet, Chase, Tomac, you know, Malcolm likes to hit big lines. Anybody that can really hit like the big quads, or at least attempt to go for it, would probably excel on this track. And then also someone that would be really good at whoops, since there is a couple whoop sections, right? Chase has been really good at whoops. Eli's really good at whoops. I think one person that probably would struggle on this track, Cooper Webb. You know what I'm saying? The longer whoop section isn't his forte. who else would kind of struggle in the, like, anybody that kind of struggles in whoops already will struggle on this track for sure. Anybody that's really good at whoops will excel. And then I mentioned my 250 picks. I ran out of tear-offs here. RIP. But I mentioned my 250s here would be Deegan and Joe. The reason why I picked Deegan is Deegan will fly in these whoops. We've seen his skill set in the whoops. He flies in them. Jordan Smith on a 250 would excel in this. He's really good in the whoop section as well. Although, like, the 250, you're probably not hitting the major quads. I think for IRL, per se, the whoop section will make a big difference on if you're going to hit a good lap or not because of how long they are. So, that's just my opinion. Let me know who you guys think in the comment section below would excel on this track, per se. Quest, this goes out to you, man. You did an awesome job. And this is your first ever track, too. Outstanding. I know you had some help with Kels, so shout out to the boy Kels, man, the GOAT. You guys killed it. All right, you guys absolutely killed it. So yeah, much love to you guys. Thank you for dropping an awesome new track. If you guys haven't already, pick this one up, man. It's $1 on the shop. It's gonna suck that there's no lobbies on it. If this track came out during Supercross, you would see a bunch of lobbies on this track, no doubt. So it kind of sucks that there is no lobbies on it. Maybe if we go stream or something, we maybe put it up on a lobby or something like that. So but big shout out to the boy Quest for dropping an awesome track. I'm excited to see what you have in store for your next drop. If you do potentially like do another drop, it's gonna be sick. You know, I already love this one, so I'm excited to see what that one is. But yeah, big shout out to everybody that's stopping by these videos, man, leaving likes, hitting the sub button. It means a lot to me. So thank you guys very, very much. If you guys enjoyed this style of like video, hit the like button, hit the sub button. Let me know in the comment section below. I kind of did something different, so let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for the love, and we'll catch you guys back here in tomorrow's video, which will potentially be a sim video because a new track just dropped, so be on the lookout for that. Much love, guys. I'm out. Peace.